In a world where flying cameras are widely available now, one company has been at the pinnacle since the beginning. DJI has been the standard when it comes to drones and flying cameras. And as a DJI Mini 3 Pro owner, we're going to take a deep dive into all the pros and cons of this drone and whether this drone is right for you. Believe it or not, my first drone was a DJI Phantom 4, an old broken down drone that my sister gave me back in 2018. Now, this drone worked perfectly, but it had one major issue. The transmission from the controller to the camera didn't work, so I was basically flying blind out there. So this is a little brief history of my love for drones. Now, like I mentioned earlier, my first drone was the DJI Phantom 4. Now, that's the drone that I learned how to fly. Now, about a year and a half after that, it's when I decided to purchase my very first drone. And that was the DJI Mavic Pro. Being able to see the screen and your footage for the first time was something amazing. So, that brings us to our present time. I just recently sold my DJI Mavic Pro and I decided to purchase the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So on this video, we're gonna go over some pros and some cons about this drone. And if this is a drone, that's for you. DJI has been making better and better drones every year since, and this year was no different. The introduction to the DJI Mini lineup back in 2019 sparked my interest. So when I read the news about the new upcoming DJI Mini 3 Pro with a bunch of pro features, I decided to give this a try. Alright guys, so let's just get right into it. We're going to be talking about some of the pros of this drone. Now there is a lot of pros on this drone and I'm going to put the list right here. But on this video, we're just going to be talking about 3 specific pros that I feel make this drone an excellent buy in 2023. Alright guys, so let's talk about pro number 1, and that is the ability to record in 10-bit color. Now I feel that is probably one of the main key selling points of this drone. Being able to have all that extra information just makes color grading so much better. And now even with the Cinelite color profile, it just makes everything so much better in post-production. From better dynamic range to way better quality in 4K. That's why I feel this specific feature is probably one of my favorite features of this drone. Alright guys, so let's talk about pro number 2, and that is the ability to shoot in vertical orientation. Now, this is the first drone that has the ability to shoot in vertical orientation, and I feel like this feature is probably one of the best features of this drone. Now, having a YouTube channel and at the same time wanting to make reels for Instagram, having a drone that can shoot in both landscape and vertical orientation, it's an awesome and key feature for any drone I feel moving forward should have the ability to do this. All right, so before we move on to Pro number 3, I also want to briefly mention other little cool features about this drone that I'm obviously not going to have time to say in this video. But one cool thing for a drone this size, that this drone has 6 sensors. So it has 2 sensors in the front, it has 2 on the bottom, and it has 2 back here. So having sensors on a drone at this price point and this size is just so cool. And it makes it a lot easier for you to fly and not crash. The only thing that I do kind of recommend is that if you're flying sideways, since the drone does not have sensors on the side, just to be a little more careful when you're flying in that direction. The battery pack, now since I got the Fly More combo, it came with this little battery pack and the 3 batteries that comes with the drone. Being able to have 3 of them charging at the same time, and it even gives you the little light indicators. This little DJI battery station is really cool, and another thing that I feel deserves a little bit of a spotlight here on this video. All right, so this is probably my favorite feature from this drone, and this is Pro number 3, and that is the RC controller. Now, being someone that came from not even being able to look at the footage on your phone to now being able to see the footage on a built-in screen, that is just amazing. I love this controller. Now, I know it's a little bit bigger than the other controllers, but I am willing to forgive the size of this drone for the usability of it. Plus, it has a way bigger screen than any other normal phone. So this is probably by far my favorite thing. Now, it also has some other features. Now, you have the ability to add an SD card for internal storage. And you are also able to record your screen to show on YouTube videos or something. And being able to record your screen and record that to an SD card on here, I think that's pretty sweet. Plus, these little joysticks, you can take them off and they go back here, which makes it a lot easier to stick into your bag. So this RC controller, I definitely 110% recommend it if you are on the fence about it. Now, the other controllers might be a little cheaper, but I feel the extra, I think it's like $200. It's 100% worth it. All right, guys, so let's just go ahead and talk about some cons from this drone. Now, to be 100% honest, this drone doesn't have very many cons, so I'm being super picky here on these few things that I'm about to mention. Now, number one con that I feel is kind of like a con, and that is that this drone does not have any side sensors. Now, when you are doing any sort of movement on the side, you have to be very careful, because since the drone doesn't have sensors on the side, you could actually bump into something. Now, another thing, and this is something that kind of I do a lot personally, and that is to switch between video and photos. Now, this drone does have the ability to do that, but it takes a very long time. I wish there was like a better solution that I could just, push one button and it would go straight to camera and straight to video. But if you know a better way, please let me know down in the comments. But I feel like it takes too long for me to get from video to photos. It's like 3 or 4 little presses on the screen. That's just another con in my personal opinion. And now the very last con, and like I mentioned, this is something very minimal. So the SD card on this drone, it's very difficult, first of all, to get out. And I feel like it doesn't have any protection. Like if water were to go in there, or you fly your drone and it started drizzling, I feel like that place could get damaged very easy, because it's just so wide open. And it's kind of hard for me personally to bust that SD card in and out when I'm getting the information and photos out of it. So yeah, those are the 3 cons that I found on this drone. And like I said, these are minor. These are no way a deal breaker for me because it has way so many more pros than cons. All right, so let's just go ahead and try to answer this question. Is this drone for you? Now, if you're a beginner or a professional or an intermediate user, I feel at any stage of your drone experience, this is an amazing drone. For beginners and for experts, this drone has so many features that I feel it can benefit both. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps out a lot. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already. Make sure you hit and smash the notification bell so you guys can get notified for future videos. And until next time, you guys be safe out there, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.